So, what is your theme for 2025? I personally like to walk into the year with a really clear idea of what I want to try and achieve. And I like to have a theme for what we're trying to achieve throughout the course of the year and make the goals really interesting, a little bit exciting, and have a few checkpoints where the rewards are going to be achieved and celebrated, and the various check marks, so that it feels a little bit like a game. And if you've been in the business as long as I have, you've got to kind of always kind of think of ways to reinvent yourself. Now, for me personally, this year is definitely still going to have a very, very strong focus on health, well-being, my mental clarity, really tapping into all the tools of the trade to ensure that I'm really watching my negative mindset so that that doesn't creep into either my language or my dealings with people, and just really making sure I'm taking complete control of how I'm operating in the year ahead. So I've made some really clear goals for myself, particularly around health and well-being. Last year I was, sort of on a journey, but this year is where I think, I can really start to step things up a little bit and really incorporate really good habits into my overall routine so that I'm making myself a priority. And, there's a bit of a saying that, the fitter you get, the wealthier you get, the more successful you get. So there's a lot to be said for really sort of taking, at the heart of your strategies, your own personal health and personal well-being, because that then drives the energy that you need and the ability to be able to really service your clients. Now, I run a fairly substantial practice, and I've got to give some real thought to how I'm going to manage that practice in the year ahead, what sort of resources I need. And in order to do that, you've really got to have, myself at the center of that universe, being the real powerhouse. And so putting those routines in place really early on. In fact, I was really operating, in that capacity all through December as I was formulating my thoughts and ideas, getting into different routines so that I could really make things work. Personally, for me, that means getting up super early, making the absolute most of those early hours of the day, and prioritizing myself. And I think, particularly for a lot of females, prioritizing yourself, particularly if you've got family, trying to run businesses, trying to, maintain relationships, we often fall onto the back seat, and I'm in that situation because I care for an elderly parent. I have a business, I have a lot of responsibilities, and it's easy to get the priorities wrong. And I think that's going to be the key to my success this year, is I'm really crystal clear about my priorities and, my habits, my routines, and what's going to be important to, really set myself up for success in the year ahead. So think about what your theme is, put pen to paper. People who are successful in achieving their goals are writing regularly, they're journaling, they're putting things, down in paper, black and white, they're reviewing their goals, their plans, their aspirations on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and they're really visualizing that, new future. And celebrating the wins along the way. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of us make. We're always kind of, well, when that happens, suddenly I'll be happy. Happiness and success, comes every day. And so just getting yourself into a rhythm, but also celebrating the wins when you do achieve, certain milestones. Make it fun, make it a game. That's the key to success when you're wanting to achieve great things in the year ahead.